I have a very massive bone to pick with my experience with Tron Ares. This is going to be my full spoiler-free review of the film, so let's get into it. When talking about this film, you have to bring up the visuals because it looked absolutely amazing. I loved the design completely throughout. And also the soundtrack was absolutely amazing by Nine Inch Nails, and I don't think anybody is surprised by that either. I think that from a plot standpoint, it was pretty basic. We could have had a little bit more development there. I also wish that we had a little bit more character development because it feels like that was overshadowed. But out of all of our characters, I do think that Jared Leto's character did have the most character development throughout the entire film, and I actually think that he did a pretty solid job with this, which I was surprised by. I also still like that it tied back into Tron Legacy and the original Tron from back in the 80s. But I do have one major gripe with this movie, and it was the overall theater experience that I had. So let's just talk about theater etiquette for a second. I had 4 high school age teenagers-ish that were just running up and down the stairs. They were on their phones, brightness all the way up, volume all the way up, on FaceTime, some PDA that I was just not very comfortable with, witnessing right in front of me. But, it is what it is. And after numerous complaints to the theater staff, it took the entire movie for them to finally get kicked out of the film after probably 4 or 5 different people had complained on them, and they didn't get kicked out until there was 10 minutes left, so it didn't really even do anything. But I am telling you, I was so distracted the entire time watching this because, you know how these movies are. They are very loud, but I could still hear people talking over it. And it would have been a little bit different had they been talking about the film itself. I wouldn't have been so mad, but they were just, on TikTok, just scrolling away and talking about what they were doing. And it was just horrible. I do think that my theater environment did ruin the score for this movie. So it is definitely due for a rewatch so I can give it my honest opinion. I ended up giving it a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I'm going to check it out again just because I feel like it does deserve that since I wasn't able to fully pay attention to it and lock in. I do think that Tron Legacy is significantly better than this. I do think that Tron Legacy's soundtrack by Daft Punk is significantly better than the one from Nine Inch Nails, but overall, both of those were still pretty solid. I'm curious to know, what were your honest thoughts on Tron Ares, and is it even worth me going back to try and rewatch this? I post film and TV show news, reviews, rankings every single day on all my socials: TikTok, Letterboxd, Instagram, and YouTube. You can find everything in my bio. So if you enjoyed this, be sure to hit that follow button, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.